Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. Just thought I'd do a little preview about the Manchester United game this weekend, the Manchester derby. As I was setting up, the news has just broke that the legend, the best Premier League midfielder of all time, Kevin De Bruyne, has decided to leave Manchester City at the end of the season on a free transfer. I feel like I'm a little bit emotional about it. I've read his statement. You sort of reminisce a little bit about what Kevin has brought to the football club and the memories, etc., etc. And it's very, very sad. We've been here before with Aguero and Yaya, Vincent Kompany, David Silva, etc. We've been here and we've experienced it before. So I feel like with his contract expiring at the end of the season, we sort of knew that this they had a great chance of this happening. Doesn't make it feel any better. You know what I mean? I think, when you've been attached to a player like Kevin De Bruyne for so many years and you've watched him, it's hard to let go sometimes. You know what I mean? And, Pep once said about Sergio Aguero that we cannot replace him. I'm a bit more worried about replacing De Bruyne than was Aguero. We found Erling Haaland, and I'm sure we're going to find somebody again that can fit into that role. But I mean, just watching some of the goals he scored for us and the assists and the passing and, he's grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck so many times when we've needed him and won us the game. You know what I mean? It's hard to find players like that now. It's that X factor that's been missing this season. But all we can do as Manchester City supporters now is get behind Kevin, show him how loved he is. Starting with a derby on Sunday, let's get behind him from the first minute. And hopefully if we can secure top four and win the FA Cup and we can send Kevin away with an FA Cup medal, I'm sure, that is exactly what Kevin wants. You know what I mean? It's what we want. He's been a fantastic servant to the club. He's never given this football club 1 ounce of trouble. Even at the time when his stock was the highest and people were talking about maybe Real Madrid's and Barcelona's coming in and taking him from us, never ever entertained it. He was always a model professional. And like you say, when we signed him, he'd had a great season at Wolfsburg, but the media was on him straight away. £60 million flop. How can Manchester City pay this for this kid? Blah, de, blah, de, blah. And listen, they all ate the words. He made them eat the words. He found a club that loved him. He found a set of fans that adored him. He enjoyed his football. And he's been a model professional. And like you say, injuries have took its toll last few years. Champions League finals he played in, both of them he went off injured. But finally, as you remember in the Treble documentary when Guardiola grips him and says, we finally did it, Kev, we finally did it. He finally done it. And he's won every single trophy that's worth winning. He's won it. You know what I mean? He's been to the top of the world. You know what I mean? Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? World Club Cup champions, treble winners, 4 in a row. All these unbelievable achievements that this football club has done, they have all involved Kevin De Bruyne. So from me, Kev, I want to thank you for everything you've done. You've given me some of the most entertaining times as a Manchester City supporter I've ever seen. And the memories I've got, of Kevin De Bruyne and the moments will live on forever. And he's an absolute legend of the football club. And it's a bit of a sore one to swallow on a Friday afternoon, but we're going to live with it. We're going to get behind him at weekend, and I feel like one of the next home games, we've got to get them Belgian flags going. I reckon if we can get them Belgian flags going at the home games. Well, saying that, I've heard the banned flags now in the ground from any nation, so we'll have to speak to the club about it. But I do reckon the 1894 and the boys are going to get some sort of banner made for Kevin De Bruyne because he deserves it. So yeah, from me and all the fans on the Big Steve channel, I'm sure we've got to wish Kevin De Bruyne all the best. But anyway, people, Manchester derby. But before that, the protest. Apparently the City Matters group met with the club yesterday. I've not heard anything coming out of that meeting yet to suggest that anything was agreed or not agreed. So is that good news? I don't know. We'll see. I just want to address something. There's on Twitter, which is a platform I don't engage in. So there's a fake account of me on Twitter that's going around trolling everyone. It's not me. I don't do Twitter. I never have. Facebook, there's another one on me in there posting my videos, pretending to me. It's not me. So if you see it, report it. There was a tweet put out by somebody ridiculing the Korean girl, that Hoi Young. I hope I spelled that's her name. Hoi, I know her as. Saying this is what you've caused at your football club, Man City, etc. And the hate that this girl's got this morning and reading it, it knocked me a little bit sick, I'll be honest. Because one thing this protest is about is tickets and about, you know, tourist fans coming to the ground. But we've got to stipulate, right, that we broke it down. Don't listen to these dickheads on Twitter telling you that, oh, she's this, she's that. If you're coming from any country in the world to support Manchester City Football Club and you're getting behind the team and you're getting involved in the atmosphere, etc., you know, we've always welcomed that. What the argument's been the last few months is we've got fans coming from all over the world that aren't Manchester City fans. They're getting in the South Stand, etc. They're filming the game. They're not participating in it. They're wearing rival shirts. They're wearing half and half scarves. These are the fans that people were talking about, pissed off. So don't let one dickhead on Twitter, you know, make your mind up and think this is some sort of local v foreign thing. It's not. And I can't break it down anymore, and I'm not going to break it down again. If you've got that mindset mentality and you think that, then you think that. But I'm telling you that's not the case. Because I met this girl outside the ground. I've spoke to her many a times before. She's from Korea. She's the biggest Manchester City fan you'll ever see. She absolutely loves and adores the club. She's got all the merchandise, buys all the gear, and her dream was to come to the game. She's come to Manchester this week. She's been all around Manchester, Mary D's, everything. She's met so many great people. We met her at the ground. We've had loads of pictures, done some videos for people, etc. She had a fucking great time. I seen her in the stadium. She's jumping up and down. Yes, she had a sign. Kevin De Bruyne, you're my hero. Because Kevin De Bruyne's an hero. I think she ended up getting his shirt. But the majority of the game, she was up singing and clapping and getting involved with the fans and everything. And at the end of the day, when I see a video of her on a bus in Manchester with tears running down her face because she's had abuse of people, it's fucking disgusting, people. It's absolutely disgusting. And I was embarrassed at the thought that she thought that of Manchester City fans. So anyway, I've spoke to her this morning, and thankfully she doesn't. She knows it's this dickhead on Twitter. She's had so many great messages of support from everybody. And she knows what the real Manchester people are about. She knows all about the protests and stuff like that. She's not stupid. But then I see people piling on the 1894 about it and stuff like that. Let's not get it twisted. You're always going to get haters and you're always going to get dickheads who try to spoil things. The protest the other night was a big success. It was on Match of the Day and all these platforms. It got out there what we need to get out. Taking a picture of this girl and putting it on Twitter to make yourself feel better is not on. It's not on. And it should be removed. It's still not been removed. It should be. But she's fine. I've spoke to her. She's still in love with Manchester City. She's loved everything everyone's done for her. She's had a great experience. But I just had to put it out there that made me feel a little bit shit. You know what I mean? So, but don't fall for Twitter bollocks. You know, a long time ago, get off them Twitter platforms. The Twitter is a toxic fucking environment. It does no benefit to your life whatsoever. You know what I mean? It's fucking rancid. So I just wanted to get that out there. But anyway, the Manchester derby, Old Trafford, the swamp. Make sure you bring in your wellies in case it rains. Make sure you bring in your umbrella hats in case it rains, because you know what happens. You're going to get piss wet through. Yeah. Make sure you have a piss outside the ground before you go in. Otherwise, you'll be swimming in piss in the toilets in the away end, because that's just what it's like. You know what I mean? Make sure we're there on Sunday, the full away end. Getting behind the lads. Let's have a real good fucking Manchester derby away end, singing non-stop from the first minute to the 90th minute. Let's get behind the boys. Let's show these scruffs who the pride of Manchester is. You know what I mean? We're both not having great seasons, but we can thank our lucky stars we're not in 13th like them. You know what I mean? How they came and won at the Etihad this season was still beyond me. I'm still embarrassed by it now, but they did. Now, all our players have got to look at themselves in that dressing room before that game and say, listen, we owe them fans out there a game because we let this shower of shit beat us. You know what I mean? So we need to put that right. So I'm expecting a good performance. We're on the back of a little bit of a good run. You know what I mean? We got a draw against Brighton. We beat Tottenham. We beat Bournemouth. We beat Leicester. So we are looking okay. The other night was not really a test. Leicester sat deep. United played well against Forest. I watched the game. They did all right. But I feel like we need to win. We've got to put it on them. You know what I mean? From the first minute. We can't let Bruno Fernandes dictate the game in midfield. He's their main threat. We need to get in and about him and rattle a few cages. The strike force of United is very, very blunt and not scoring goals. So we cannot be embarrassing ourselves and letting them score. And I feel like the Jeremy Doku, Savinho, Mamouche front three might cause them a bit of problems. You know what I mean? If we can get the ball to our boys early doors and get them on the break, you seen what Alanga did to him the other night. He ran the length of the pitch. I feel like we'll get some joy. But literally, as a prediction for the game, I don't think we can predict it. I don't think you can predict any Man City game this season because you literally don't know what Man City team's going to turn up. The way we're playing, you know, what team he's going to pick. Is he going to go all out for it? Is Grealish going to start in midfield? Is De Bruyne now going to start in midfield? You know, is Savinho going to play? Is Foden going to play? Is Kusanov going to play? Is Nunes going to play? You know, is O'Reilly going to play? Is Guardiola going left back? So there's all these different, you know, possibilities of the team, which there's only Pep can decide. So I'm looking forward to the game. Always have some good banter with the Reds when I'm walking around near the ground. Sometimes it can get a little bit tasty, but, you know, it is what it is. I expect that. But I just want us to go there, Mancunian pride. We're the Blues, you know what I mean? And let's get behind the team. Let's get behind them from non-stop. I don't want an away end like at Liverpool at Anfield where it's flat and everyone's fucking just sat there. You know, it's a derby game. This is the game of the season where we need to get behind the boys. This is bragging rights, you know what I mean? It's probably one of the most flattest, shittest derbies we've ever had because there's not a lot on the line for it. But we definitely need to win. We've got top four to play for. They're not really asked because they're in no man's land, but they're going to want pride. They're going to play with no fear because they're in front of their own crowd. But we need to weather the storm and just show them that, you know, the early season result wasn't normal. We took the eye off the ball. We're in a bad period, but now we're getting our act together. So, yeah, I'm expecting a win. I'm going there to win. I don't know what you guys think. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And yeah, let me know what you think about the Kevin De Bruyne news. For me, this looks like, you know, the end of a bit of an era. But I feel like City will have a replacement lined up. Someone of Kevin De Bruyne's ilk leaving. We can't and not identify the replacement. Echeverri, the young kid from Argentina, you know, has he been brought in to maybe come in that role? I don't think he's going to start that role, but I feel like eventually he might get there. But I feel there's a big signing on the horizon. You know, someone like Florian Wirtz, who, in my opinion, would be absolutely perfect. Someone like that, if we can get that over the line, it'd give everyone a boost. But yeah, it's a bit of an intriguing one where Kevin goes. I did hear a rumor a few weeks ago he was lined up to go to America, and it was a team that no one would expect. I thought he'd probably go to New York, stay in the City group, earn a few quid, and maybe get the atmosphere going in New York with him signing over there. But I'm sure he's got a holiday home somewhere in America, which somewhere like San Diego or something. Someone told me, or he holidays there every year. That could be a possibility. Or there's obviously Saudi Arabia, you know what I mean? But I'm not being funny. Kevin De Bruyne, Saudi Arabia, ginger hair, big red head. You know, he might have to get a sun cream deal with someone because it's going to be a hot one out there. But obviously, we never know. We never know. But big up to everyone that sent me messages this week about the protest, etc., and speaking out. It's really nothing special. It's just something that a lot of fans are doing. I just happen to have this little platform. Big up to all the new followers. Really appreciate it. Thanks for everyone subscribing to the South Stand as well. We are the South Stand, you know, MCFC, the new channel me and Daps have run. Daps is now doing these early morning streams where he's having a cup of coffee and he's chatting about City and stuff. So get on there. But other than that, people, there's not a lot going on. I'll be there on Sunday getting behind the boys. If you see me, come over and say hello. Let's have a chat. And yeah, let me know what you think about Kevin's situation. Where does he go? You know, where do we go from here? Who would you like as a replacement for Kevin De Bruyne? Let me know in the comments below. And let's make sure we go to that swamp against the odd mob on Sunday and we give it them bastards, yeah? Come on, Man City, the pride of Manchester. Come on, the Blues.